Hey everybody, and welcome to Is This Adulting, the mental health comedy podcast you never knew you needed. I'm your best friend and the new Duchess of Sussex. I'm Stephen Pappas.
Oh, and I'm jealous. I'm best friend number 2, Chris Grimmett.
Yeah, you
When
should
she
be
get so
jealous.
famous?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. They'll tell you it's Meghan Markle, but they're lying. They're lying. It's all a conspiracy.
I've seen you in that dress, and you wear it better.
They're really weird about queer rights abroad. It's really strange. That is not something I should say. I'm not saying you are. I
would say I don't feel like I can confidently say much about British politics in general. So maybe you can.
Maybe I'm right. I don't know. I'm going to get us out of this tailspin though.
Perfect.
My parachute's a knapsack. Anyway, I'm going to introduce our best friend for this week. She is a writer, performer, and producer. You know her as the Proverb Lady and the voice of Deb on Welcome to Night Vale, and as the co-host of Good Morning Night Vale alongside past guests Hal Lublin and Symphony Sanders. She is credited with once, and I quote, getting an entire room of people to cheer for Stephen and making him cry on the inside like a newborn who has not been adequately swaddled. Please welcome Meg Bashwiner to the show. Hey, Meg.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. I've been looking forward to doing this, and now it's the day. I'm so happy it's finally the day we're doing this.
Are you overwhelmed by the fact that you are speaking to Prince Harry's... Wait, Harry? What's his name?
Oh, God. Yes, Prince Harry.
You should know. You're married to him.
I'm sorry.
To his beautiful bride?
No, it's not overwhelming to me.
Good.
I try to be cool around famous people, you know?
Cool.
Like I feel like as soon as you start to fan on them, that's when that's when you lose them, you know?
That's true. That's true. Thanks for keeping me grounded. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Chris, you can't freak out too much. Just because I married Prince Harry and did a nice little stint on a little show called Suits. Anyway.
And you're carrying his baby too, isn't it? Yeah.
Wait, am I pregnant? Is that?
Yeah.
This is like a TLC special.
Yeah.
Pregnant and I didn't know it.
See,
Yeah.
that's so fun because last week we announced that my wife is pregnant, and so now we're announcing that I'm also pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Producing like the 15th in line to the throne. So that's a lot of work. Make sure you don't eat too much fish or whatever they say you're not supposed to do.
I don't
I
eat
just
much
know like
fish
deli
after my
meat you're not
salmonella.
supposed to eat. That's it.
Yeah, deli meat's a no-no. I learned that. Like, they're like, you can eat like a turkey sandwich. They were telling Katie at the doctor, they're like, you can eat like a turkey sandwich, but like, you're definitely going to want to like heat up the turkey in the microwave first. I'm like, ugh, no. No.
Nothing like warm cold cuts.
Yeah. Like, I'm not after that. So we just, I guess she doesn't eat it. I eat too many of them. So it's okay. Anyway, we're going to get into everything in just a second. But before we do you want to tell people where they can find you on the interwebs and or your home address?
Yeah, so my home address is exactly so you can find me on the internet. I am at Lady Bash on Twitter.
Great
My
name.
mom is at Liba Bash on Twitter, so she's just one letter off of me. So if you want to follow me or my mom, you now have the tools to do that.
Wow.
Also, I work on the podcast Welcome to Night Vale. I am occasionally on that show. I am always at the live shows. So if you are an in real life person, you can come see me and my pals, Night Vale pals, do live shows. We're about to leave on tour. So go to welcometonightvale.com to see where you can find us. We're all over this place. I host podcasts with my friends Hal Lublin and Symphony Sanders called Good Morning Night Vale, which you can find in the places where you consume your podcasts. So wherever that is, behind a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Is that where people consume the most?
How'd you know
podcasts?
my secret spot? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're just like,
Can I tell you where I've realized I consume the majority of my podcasts? In bed, like at night, after my wife has gone to sleep, I'm like sitting there with my headphones in, and I've realized it feels super like I'm doing something wrong. Like I'm like, ooh, just gonna listen to my podcasts.
Under the covers with the like flashlight and everything.
Yeah, that's what a flashlight
Oh, no.
for the podcast. I'm just shining it straight down on my knee, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, or up on my
you're
face.
shining it at your phone that's lit up using the flashlight function on your phone.
Oh my God, how would I ever do that?
Phone and podcast flashlight inception.
Yeah.
Yes, you've
The
been
future
the
of science
rules of
makes it
reality. And I do thank you for that. Well, I think that it's probably about that time, so we're going to start this week off just like we do every week with a mental health check-in. So Christopher, Tyler, Grimmett,
Yes.
how you been this week?
You know, I say this every time. I am convinced that if I come on this show and say that I've had a pretty good week, then I am destining myself to have a horrible week the next week. And that is unfortunately what happened.
So you had a really good week.
And unfortunately, Hal was on last week, and I was like, I've been actually really good. I've been like inspired and encouraged by a lot of stuff. And then pretty much like the day afterwards, life was like, oh yeah. And just immediately, just day after day, it was a combination of so many different things. So I started getting hit with a huge wave of self-doubt. Like one that there's like normal levels that most of us kind of go through, like on a daily basis or somewhat daily. And then there are ones where you're sitting there just thinking, is your middle school bully around here somewhere? Like, why am I feeling this inadequate? Like, and it was one of those weeks where like I found myself crying like 3 days in a row, and I kind of knew why, but I also didn't know why. And so I was just really, really struggling. And I was just wanting to find myself to like be alone. And at the same time, I was struggling because my wife, who I love very deeply, she does an amazing job where she works for the Ronald McDonald House. And so for people who don't know what that is, it's not McDonald's. It's the charity from McDonald's that basically helps families who their children are severely ill with a wide variety of things, and they help find a place for them to stay and all that type of stuff. And she has recently, unfortunately, and I'll throw a trigger warning out for a minute of just around death. So for anyone who needs to kind of skip ahead about 30 seconds, but she is unfortunately, she builds very close relationships with these families and these kids. And it has been a really rough week and a half where they've lost like 3 kids. And some, or they've just they've heard horrible news. And it's been one of those things where I already feel inadequate enough. And then I'm dealing with my own stuff. And then the person I care about is also here and is feeling completely just, helpless. And you're sitting there being like, I feel like I can't help myself or I can't help you. And so I was just overwhelmed. So it's been a rough week for the most part, which is unfortunate. However, I will say one more thing, and we can maybe eventually talk about this another point. But I did something for myself this weekend that I've been wanting to do for over a year.
Oh, yeah. You called me immediately after.
I did.
Said, guess where I was just naked.
Yeah. That's pretty much, yes. That is how I started out the sentence. Meg, have you ever heard of float therapy?
I have. I've never done it, but my cousins do it, and they're very into it.
I have been wanting to do it for so long just because I was so curious. And finally, I found one, and I did it. And I floated for an entire hour, and it was... I don't know how to explain it. It was both really cool and also crazy. And at one point I'm like, am I just in a big womb? Like, am I a baby? Like, am I reliving my birth experience? But yeah, so it was so many different things. And I will say it actually was really nice. It was, some people talk about how, you're able to think more clearly than you've ever thought before. And some people say you're able to sleep, with more rest than you've ever experienced before. And I had neither experience, and they weren't bad. Have you ever watched, I know, Steven, you have, Meg, have you ever watched Parks and Rec?
Yes.
So there's a very famous scene where Chris Traeger takes Ron Swanson to go meditate. And Chris Traeger asked at the end of it, what did you think about? And Ron said, nothing. And Chris was like freaking out, like, that's amazing. Let me tell you, I thought about nothing. And it was the most relaxing thing. It was weird. Like, I kept telling myself, maybe I should try and think of something, but I'm really enjoying just not. And there was nothing that could really like take my mind away to think about stuff. And so it was really calming and it was nice. So that was a random fun thing that I did that I can share with you another time. But so I was able to top the end of a very bad week with some positive self-care stuff. So Meg, how about you? How have you been this past week?
Oh, it's been a weird week, the weird past 7 days, because I was coming back from Europe. We were out there with a Night Vale tour, and then I tacked a couple days on the end to go visit my friend Kate in Switzerland. And so kind of just the weirdness of returning home after travel, and also the jet lag, which makes your sleep all weird. And then I had some of my wonderful family came up to visit this weekend. So I had my sister and my nephew and my cousins and her kids and my other cousins, and so we had like a full house of lots of, so it's like I kind of feel like my feet really haven't hit the ground here yet. And I leave next week for tour again, which usually like my turnaround time isn't that tight. Like normally I have like a month to decompress and like prepare for the next tour. But this time it's like a really quick turnaround. So it's been like a kind of like stressful work time, and like my body feels like way somewhere else. It's like somewhere still in the middle of the ocean on its way back here.
You're floating as well.
I'm floating as well, but yeah. So waiting to feel great. I think last night I got like a good night's sleep. So that was like my first good night's sleep in like a very long time, which is good. So that's like part of the reset. It's been a weird body thing too, because it's like because of travel, when I'm on the road with Night Vale, I eat okay. Like I try to like make sure I'm getting vegetables and not eating road crap just because I'm on the road, because I live on the road. But sometimes like lots of travel back to back with like flying and driving, and all the times are weird. So I've been like eating a bunch of weird stuff, and then I had family up. So I was like eating a bunch of candy. I took the kids to the candy store. I took myself to the candy store. So it's been like, like a little, I don't feel very much in control of lots of things right now, which is always always a fun place for me to be at mentally.
Yeah.
When I say fun, I mean not fun.
Sure.
What could you mean?
Yeah. I tell you, I hope that, this may or may not be something that you experience, but I hope that like for me, whenever I'm having to travel multiple times in a small like period of time, like the part that throws my brain off so much is I feel like I don't have enough time to kind of recharge in my safe place, which is my home, and so I hope you're able to find some time to just recover before you go right back out.
Yeah, I have this week, which is good. Yeah, I have at my house this week. I have no plans to leave it really, other than all the stuff I have to do before I leave for tour, like ship merchandise and go to the DMV and all the life things
go to the DMV.
Go pay my taxes, all the life things that kind of have to get done in the short period of time before I go back to the land of the road where nothing is real. But the life things they still send you property tax bills even when you're on the road.
Unfortunate.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so you have to pay them when you're home.
Yeah, I tried hiding in my float tank, but the government just kept sliding in bills, and so when I got out of it, it was just filled with soggy paper. Unfortunately, the salt place did not like me. But Steven,
that filter is not going to fix that.
It's not going to. So Steven, how about you? How have you been this week?
I've been okay. Tell you, I'm having just a tough time right now because I'm talking to Meg. It's another Night Vale person, and the hardest thing about that is I just keep going back to the failure of the U.S. Postal Service. Because if we have any mail carrier listeners, I'm sorry, I don't mean it, but just it's bringing up these sad things, because I was just like, oh, I wonder if they're coming near us on a live show, and I went and looked, and I clicked the tab of books, Christopher, and I looked and I said, oh, It Devours, and I just flashed back to Jeffrey Craner apparently sent us copies like a year ago of that book, and they got lost in the mail and found their way back to him, and now I'm very sad. So thanks, Meg. No, I'm just kidding. Hi. I just happened to look through and I saw him, and I thought I'd make a weird bit.
I can resend you if you want to have them try it again. I have copies in my house.
Do y'all just have stacks of all these books?
Oh my gosh, they send us so many books. I do have stacks.
Well, with all those stacks, that's cool. I'll just take a copy of everything you got.
Sure. Yeah. I will send it media mail, which is, I think the media mail is the thing that confuses the post office. Because they're like, oh, we don't have to do a good job because it's media mail. We don't even have to try.
Talking about male privilege. Sorry, that was stupid. I'm sorry. I wasn't going to say it, and then it was in my head. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. God. Let's be honest.
Anyway.
No, it's a pretty good. Don't stand proud of that one.
Thank you.
I went on a weird bit there. No, I've been all right. I'm very happy because I just followed Meg Bashwiner's mom on Twitter. I did. I'm not joking. And also, like, I don't know. I'm in this weird, like, middle place. So, like, last week when I came on, it was very clear, like, Steven not do good. Having a really tough time. There was discussion of self-harm, things like that. Not a good week. And this week has been weird because I'll have a really good day and then a really bad day. Up and down. Saw my psychiatrist today, staying where I'm at on meds, which is good for me. It's just a matter of dealing with stress levels. And my stress and overwhelmedness, is that a word?
It sounds very legit to me.
Yeah. It's I'm smart. Just reached a point where I was just like, I was letting it affect my mood really strongly. And I am a person that likes to be in control of my emotions. But I have not been for the last few years. And specifically right now with the whole, like, you know, apparently it's a big life change that I'm having a baby. I don't know. That's what they tell me. But the stress that comes from that and working a lot of jobs so that I can support doing what I love. And also like how does this financial input affect my wife and I, and then our future child and all this stuff. I think I just reached a point where I let that defeat me and I wasn't willing to admit it. And I let it come out in other ways, to the point that, I mean, Chris, I hope you're comfortable with me sharing this.
Sure,
Chris and I had like a little come to Jesus.
Well, I guess so, but it was, if nothing else, it was just like, it was a really good needed talk that I think that we've probably just been.
Well, it was you expressing feelings that you had not expressed to me and frustrations that you had not expressed to me, and me doing the same and saying, I'm not mad at you. This is what I'm feeling. And I had been not acknowledging that. And we had a good conversation and I feel better about everything now. And I just reached a point where I was putting something out that wasn't me, in an effort to control my emotions. I was trying to write it off as, sorry, I'm just really busy. I'm just really this. I'm really that. And I was doing that with everybody in my life, and not acknowledging like, oh, sorry, I'm really depressed. Like, sorry, I don't want to think about my feelings. I want to eat my feelings. But, you know, I've been on the upswing the last day and a half, as small of a time as that sounds, but I'm okay with that because that's a day and a half better than I was before. So, here's to hoping that by next week, when you hear from me, I can give a very positive report and let y'all know. But, you know, if I don't, I don't. You know, maybe I'll still be sad. Anyway, well, now that we've passed that, as always, if you have a mental health check-in you'd like to share, an idea of how we can encourage you throughout the week, we will remind you, as we do every single week, we are not professionals in any way, shape, or form. And if you are in need of professional help, please contact a mental health professional. Or if you're in crisis, please contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It is a great resource. You don't have to be in crisis. You can just talk to them. If you just need someone to talk to and to know that you're to know that you're heard, just to know that you're heard. It's a super, super cool resource. But you can email us over at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. We read every single email, even if we don't have time to respond to them. And if you're sending a mental health check-in, let us know if you'd like it read on one of our Real Talk episodes that we're going to be doing here, reading listener check-ins, and we do it anonymously. Just let us know if it's okay to read it, and we'll share it with the community of listeners. So before we move on to our topic this week, Meg, you have fallen into you've fallen.
I fall down a lot.
It's okay. I do too. We just got a new bed, and like the bed frame sticks out further than I'm used to, and my knees and like legs are covered in bruises.
Oh no,
it's so hard. And then every time you do it, you're like, again, how am I not getting it?
There's a lot of just me falling face first onto the bed and yelling like, no! It's like, I can't believe it. But you've fallen into our segment that we do every single week, where we ask you a few questions from our listeners that we've just got to know. So if you're ready, I'm going to hit you with 3 questions real quick, and then we'll get on to the topic.
I'm ready.
All right, so we've got to know, and Sandra wants to know, Meg, if you could be any animal, which animal would you be?
I've thought about this a lot.
Okay.
And I really I want to go with whale. Like, I feel like that I definitely want to be some sort of marine mammal. I do love horses, but horses they're like a prey animal. They're not that smart. So, which I think they're beautiful and cool, but like I would definitely want to be a marine animal. I think some sort of whale. It just seems really cool. Like they have like some, I mean, ocean's a terrible place, but then again, so is the rest of the earth. So like, I'm going to go with marine mammal, but leaning towards whale. I haven't like drilled down what specific type of whale yet, but
Still, that's cool.
I'm trying to think of, I mean, you got to go blue, right? You just want to be the biggest fucker in the ocean, right?
Right? Yeah. I think it would feel good.
Oh my God. I saw a chart the other day, by the way. This is going to make me sound like I'm a fifth grader. I saw a chart the other day of just how big a blue whale is.
They're so big.
And I was like, there's no way that's real. Like, that's a made up Narnia animal. Like, that doesn't exist. And my wife was like, no, they're that big. I was like, nah.
Yeah, there was like the thing about them is like the one thing that makes me like understand the scale of their size. It's like you could swim through their aorta. Like you could.
Whoa.
Yeah, like you could full on like wing swim, just like butterfly stroke through their aorta. That's how.
Oh my gosh. So interesting. I think I would be an otter, which is the complete opposite from a size standpoint. But I would just be an otter, and I would just hang out on top of the whale, if you're cool with that, of course.
I hate the ocean, so.
Oh, yeah, you'd be far away.
We'll have to come visit you on land.
Yeah, you'd have to just wave at me with your fin and just like, all right, bye. Welcome to our new section of the show called I almost called it You Ought to Know, but it's Aorta Know. Yeah, Aorta Know, where we talk about nothing but aortas. Meg, what's your favorite kind of aorta?
Gross.
No.
My personal aorta is my favorite kind.
That's a good one. That's a good
It's
one.
the one I
Keeps
care
you going.
most about.
That's well done. Chris, are you Googling aorta? Because you're...
I may be Googling
Are you fact checking?
I may be Googling kinds of aorta.
Okay, Chris, just so you know, aorta, it's in the heart. It's not like the butthole. I know you're Googling. It's not like a sphincter. It's
I knew that.
I know. I'm just teasing you. All right, well, moving on. Ross wants to know, and he wants to know all of our answers. If we woke up tomorrow in Night Vale, how well do you think you would blend in?
Ooh, yeah.
Chris, I'm going to go ahead and answer for you. Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, what is unfortunate is you could say if you woke up, insert whatever name, whatever place, anywhere, and then would you fit in? For me, 99% of the time, it's going to be no. I would very much stand out very quickly.
Well, it's just because Chris has, and this is self-proclaimed. I'm not putting this on him. Mm-hmm. Chris has, on many occasions, and I don't think even in an effort to be mean to himself, just has called himself the humanization of a Sears catalog like person.
Yes.
Yeah, like he is.
What? I'll describe. When people ask, what is my personal brand or my style, so to speak, I say, I don't look like the guy in a JCPenney's catalog. I look like a guy that goes to the customer service desk asking for a JCPenney's catalog. And that's the best way to describe who I am. But hey, I know who I am. It's my brand. It's dad brand.
What about you, Meg?
Well, I mean, obviously the citizens of Night Vale will shout interloper at me immediately. That's
Sure.
going to happen to anyone who's new. But I feel like I do have an understanding of the culture there. So if I was actively trying to fit in, I think I would have the tools to do so. But I also feel like in Night Vale, you don't necessarily need to try to fit in. I feel like that world, it's so like there's so much bizarro crap that goes on there that like you'd have to try real hard to be the most bizarrest of that crap.
That's true.
That's fair. I feel like for me, there are so many things that would kill me before because that's just the thing. It's like, I love to read. Shouldn't be part of a summer reading program. I love dogs. Like I would immediately and we're talking about the first sentence of this podcast, I would just run toward the dog park. I'd be like, puppies, and then I'd die. There's a lot of things that would kill me. The guys under the bowling complex, I think that would probably do me in because I would find that too fascinating to not investigate. Yeah, I'd die. So that's my answer.
Yeah.
Well, there's a long tradition of dying in Night Vale. You'd be in good company.
Yeah, it could be
win Rome, right?
I'd be a great intern.
Yeah.
Could do really well there. Okay, and lastly, as always, the third question, except for last week when I was usurped, the third question comes from Chris and I. And we want to know, and this is a very serious question. Meg, are Hal and Symphony actually as nice as they seem to be, or are they hiding secrets so terrible that we dare not speak them aloud?
They're nicer. That's the secret. The secret is that like they're even better than they sound. I mean, they sound great and they do a great job, but like getting to actually be their real life friends and like be in very like intense situations with them, like you wouldn't want anyone else with you. Like Symphony, I've been touring with Symphony like every city in this world for years now, and she's the biggest morale boost to everyone in the room. She always makes sure that she pays attention to how everyone's doing and how everyone's feeling. And when you're traveling, stuff gets hard. Like things are like, flights get canceled and life continues to happen and it's tiring, exhausting, but she always is there to kind of make sure like she lifts her spirits. She's very funny and she's a great team player. She's awesome to have around. Yeah, she incorporates new people really well. So like there's a new person, like we have a new actor or weather act. She like gets them into the fold really quick and makes them feel really welcome. So that's really good because I'm not necessarily so great at that because I'm just like busy with other stuff to like not like have time to really think about everyone's feelings. And she's like really good in the feelings department of making sure that everyone in the group is feeling good. And Hal's great. I mean, like Hal he's so funny and genuine and interesting, and he's also a great person to tour with and have on tour. He's like always like he's very punctual, and he like even though touring is like tiring and difficult, he seems to be able to maintain how he's feeling in his mood so that he's never like bringing anyone down, being like, oh, this sucks. He's never going to complain, and if he is going to complain, it's going to be funny. So they're even better. The dirty secret about them is that like you think that getting to listen to their podcast and hang out with them every so, but like the like real life intimate details with them, it's like what even better.
Wow.
Yeah, I see the vibe I got from both of them is just like we are mean, terrible, bad-hearted people. No, I'm just kidding. We of course know that they are lovely. I just wanted to ask something funny and silly.
Yeah, what if I was just like, they're terrible and I have to work with them and that's why I am with them. But no, yeah, couldn't. Yeah, they're everyone who I work with is awesome. Like we kind of have a no. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah,
of course you are.
We have a no assholes rule, so so that's kind of like it's been good. We've been pretty lucky in that department.
It's why they wouldn't let me on Night Vale. I tried. They were like, nah, sorry, we got this rule.
We read your resume and it's just like skills, assholery. And we're like, that's not a skill set we need.
Steven, I thought you were making like a really weird joke of like, I tried, but they asked and the doctor did confirm I do have an asshole. And I was I thought that's what you were going with. I was like, all right, weird joke.
It is a weird joke, but it's true. Everyone on Night Vale, we no longer have assholes.
Oh, wow.
They've been sewn shut.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's beautiful.
That's what I heard. Really they call that the full fink, from what I understand.
Yeah.
The full fink sounds like a terrible film for some reason. It's like a mixture of the Full Monty and Human Centipede. Anyway,
perfect.
Well, thank you so much for answering those questions. Listeners, if you have something that you've just got to know, you can submit your questions and find out who next week's guest is over in our Facebook discussion group, the Is This Adulting Best Friends. That's where I pull all our questions from. It's a fun place. Check it out. Anyway, it is time to move into our topic for this week. And so when I reached out and said, hey, what do you want to talk about? You sent me a topic. And then when I reached out like another week and a half ago, literally like a month after we talked and said, hey, what do you want to talk about? You very kindly forwarded me the first email and said this. And then I felt really bad because I totally blanked and had lost that first email because I'm a terrible, unprofessional human being.
Stop that. Speak kind to yourself. Remember, that's our thing that Hal taught us last week.
Hal did teach us that.
Yeah, you can always just blame Google too. It's possible it was Google and not you.
I'm going
like
to go
that.
with that. It was Google.
I like to blame Google for stuff because what? Like Google's going to fight back? Google's going to be like, well, actually, no.
Yeah, Google's got resources? I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
Anyway, my
Anyway,
internet just shut down. I don't know what's going on.
Just everything goes black. All of my podcasts are expunged from the internet.
Oh my God, he doesn't exist.
I was just like, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't the one who was fucking this up. So I very kindly pointed it towards you.
No, you're totally fine. 9 times out of 10, it was me.
Then that one time is Google's fault.
And that one time, it would never be Meg's fault, though. I guarantee it. Sometimes
it is, and I try to own it.
But you sent it to me, and I read back through, and I'm like, yes, all of those things. So I think the way to kind of sum up what you sent me was just the word self-control. Is that a word? It's hyphenated. We're going to call it one word. It's just self-control. And you sent me kind of a description of that. And I know that for me, one of the things that resonated the strongest was the idea of self-control when it comes to things like food and drink. Those are things that I have trouble with. But you had also mentioned other types of self-control and really the idea of control itself. And so I'm going to throw it to you real quick and kind of let you kind of intro your topic here. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to talk about control. So self-control and the concept of control and why we desire as humans to have control.
Sure.
Of lots of things. So it's control over ourselves, control over our situation, control over the function of our life, our work life, our personal life, the people of us around us, like what our relationship is to that. Like,
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So have you always been a person that struggled with control? Because I know I have, but I also know some people who, like my wife, who is a much kinder, compassionate person who tends to often give up control for the sake of creating peace.
Yeah, that's got to be nice to have.
Isn't it? It's just like,
Great.
God. It's like, man, that makes me just realize how mean I am sometimes when I meet people like that. But so
Yeah.
you have struggled with control.
Oh yeah, from the jump. Maybe not from the jump. I don't remember. But yeah, I've had food issues and issues with binge eating for a very long time. Like from childhood, early childhood to always. It's not something that you ever really can shake off. You can figure out different ways to manage it sometimes, but it's always a moving target. So so I've had issues with disordered eating, food control things forever, and I guess it's been more recently in my professional life, not more recently, but maybe like the past 10 years, I've been a person who really, I've always liked to be in charge, but now I'm just more advanced in my career where I actually can be in charge. So I'm at the point where like I am a manager who manages things, and I've always, but now, so the needing to control my work environment is something that for the past 10 years has kind of been more ratcheted up.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious, as someone that has also, like for example, when I think of control, my go-to is the dreaded group project from growing up, just because of there are so many factors that are not easy to control. And so for me, I'm curious, as someone who you've been working in the entertainment space, you work with, it's different than it is with someone like me and Steven, where there are just two of us. With Night Vale as a whole, good Lord, how many people are there? Like, I mean, just there's so many people that, like, it's moving parts to that. And I'm curious, what parts of you feel like you can thrive in that, and what parts do you feel almost kind of wear you down when it comes to having to try and be in control of everything, including your image as an entertainer?
I guess I'll start with the things that wear me down, because I'll start there, where it's like, because of the nature of what we do, I'm the tour manager for Welcome to Night Vale live shows and the tour director for the Night Vale Presents Network. And so I'm managing a lot of things, and on the road, I'm managing a lot of people, getting people to places, all the people that we work with when we get to a theater. So the local crew, as well as the crew that we're bringing in, and those sorts of things. But also because we are, Night Vale is very much a family. We all, we are friends first, and we spend a lot of time together. So the thing that's hardest for me is trying to find a balance between being a manager of these people and also, they're my friends, and I never want to have to be like, hey, I need you to be on time, or like, hey, I need you to get back to me on this, or hey, this behavior is not appropriate for what we're trying to do here. Because like as a friend, I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. You can be 5 minutes late. It doesn't matter. It's not no skin off my ass. But as a person who's like trying to get us to Houston airport, I need you to be on time. Like, that sort of thing. So that's the thing I think I struggle with the most in that is the management of people, management of friends, and trying to maintain these relationships that are way more important to me than whether we miss our flight or not. But also we can't miss our flight because then we're going to lose a bunch of money and a bunch of fans are going to be disappointed. Yeah. So there's the stakes are kind of high. And then also it's personal too. Like this is this podcast we've built and this network we've kind of built from the ground. And it's my husband is the co-owner and co-creator of a lot of it. And so this is our whole life. And so everything feels really important. And sometimes it's like, no, it's a box of missing t-shirts that got lost in the mail. It's not that freaking important in the grand scheme of things. But in the moment I'll be like, this feels so important. This feels like this, I'm losing sleep over this and my nerves are shot because DHL lost a box of our t-shirts. Yeah. So those are the kind of thing, the personal and business is the kind of thing that I struggle with. The things that I thrive with is that like, I'm deeply organized. I have a natural curiosity for how things work. I will teach myself how to do things. I really want to do things well. So I will, I will work 20 hours a day to make sure we're getting it right, which isn't necessarily good for your body, but it's good. Yeah. Like it feels good to me to be the person who is always driving the van, and feels good to me to be the person who knows exactly how many dollars we have allotted to our catering budget that I can get the promoter to give us for like those sort of like granular details. So yeah, I'm detail oriented. I have really strong sense of curiosity, which I think is great in the control department. And then so I always think of the business things. I totally forget that I'm a performer. But the performance aspect is always something that's interesting as far as control goes. I serve as the warm-up comic for the Welcome to Night Vale live shows. And so there's a lot of things that go into the idea of control there, because my job is to make the audience laugh and it's to warm them up for the show. So I have to control these, hundreds of people and get them to feel excited, get them to feel ready to listen to a show, get them to feel welcomed into a space. And so I'm trying to control the emotions and expectations of all of these people with jokes. So,
it's interesting when I found out that this is what you're wanting to talk about. I kind of just smiled because in the last 2 weeks, part of what has been being rough is I've kind of forced myself to take a step back from a lot of things, and I think the reason why is because I'm a person that not only craves control so much, but I feel like so much of my drive for control is more just so I don't get severely disappointed. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
And disappointed, sure, that can be at times be disappointed at others, but most of the time it's disappointment in myself of like, well, if I could have done this, then it could have still gone smoothly. And that's something where I've recently been finding out that I've gotten to a place of where I almost begin to just drown in the I'm not even doing it because yes, I still enjoy it, but I'm more going through the motions when really just trying to, I almost kind of imagine myself as like the image of the duck that is calm on top of the water and then below is freaking out. And I really have just been catching myself almost being like the image of a duck, but I've been slowly going more and more under. And so it's very clear to me and everyone else that this control thing's not working so much. And so my therapist actually has been encouraging me to start saying, what happens if something good doesn't happen? What happens if it dramatically fails? Like, could you allow someone to fail? And my first instinct is, why would I allow someone to do that? No, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, maybe if they're a piece of shit, then sure, I'll let them do it. But like, if they're a good person, or if if this can help people, then why in the world would I want to do that? And I think that what kind of hit me was, so, you know, this is episode 97 of our show. We've done more than that, but our official show. So we're coming up on 200. Not 200.
Nope, just 100.
No, 100s. We're about to do 130 episodes in the next few weeks. But we're coming up on 100. And I've been thinking about the last 2 years. And I've been thinking about how much I've changed in those 2 years. And also how much growth I still need to make. And what has left me kind of humbled in a way is I've had 2 years now of complete control of being able to try and make the perfect situation for myself, where I can fix myself. I can have processed my issues, and it's 2 years later, and yeah, I've made progress, while simultaneously I'll look and go, well, shit, I still haven't even begun to figure that out. And I think I just kind of had that moment of realization of, if I do not let go of the reins a little bit, all that, I'm just going to be drug under, you know, like the undercurrent is going to win every time. And that doesn't mean I stop trying. I'm not going to keep trying to fight the undercurrent, because I share that same passion of the things that you're describing, Meg, makes it sound like Steven likes to joke and say there's like friend Chris and business Chris. And it sounds very similar. Like there's friend Meg and business Meg of just like getting shit done. And so I was just kind of curious for you, how do you handle when something gets out of control? Or, I mean, maybe something like comedy, where, from my understanding, I've never done stand-up, but part of stand-up is kind of really messing up over and over again before you start getting better. Like, how is that? Like, how have you been able to handle that?
It's tough, man. It's not, it definitely takes a specific type of ability thing. And the thing is, you can get good at it, and then you have to change, because you can't do the same jokes over and over again. You have to make new jokes, and then you have to go try out those new jokes, and then you suck again, because you have to learn how those jokes work. This past year, I do a new set for every year that we're on the road, and so we premiered our show in my hometown that I live in right now, and it was a really big deal, and I was really excited to do it at this theater, and it was my first foray at this stand-up set, and I usually I don't work on it enough because I'm too busy with all the other details and making sure that there's enough pizza. So I still don't spend as much time on it as I should. And I bombed so hard in front of my hometown crew. And now I'm embarrassed in the grocery store. And that was tough after coming off of the tour that I had just done before, where I was feeling great, because that I had just, I had done 75 shows with those jokes, and they were awesome at that point. It was a solid 15 minutes. It felt great. I knew every beat. I knew how to milk every moment. I knew how it worked. And then going into the, just 2 months later, a new show, not knowing how any of it works. And it was crushing. It was tough. But then, I have to keep going, because it is my job, and they will not pay me if I don't show up and tell jokes. So, so just kept going and working with it. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And the different audiences that I'm lucky to get exposed to, the more I learn about what the set is and how to make it work for different ways. So we just came back from Europe, and that is always such a great building block for my stand-up set, and even for my performance in the show too, because you're performing to an audience that doesn't necessarily have the same cultural touch points as the American audience does, as well as they have sometimes there's a language barrier, so it's really figuring out how to access those people, and then you can bring that back to the States, and it's just that much stronger. So, there's that aspect to it. Sometimes, I mean, on the business side of things, when things go wrong and I feel like I dropped the ball, or maybe it wasn't me who dropped the ball, but I'm going to find a way to make it my own fault that I dropped the ball. Sometimes I handle that well. Sometimes I'm like, you know what, you can't win them all. It's okay. We're going to try again tomorrow. And then sometimes I lose my damn mind and I scream in a minivan by myself.
Not your minivan, someone's.
No, a rental
that's what's
minivan.
So scary.
The Enterprise Rent-A-Car's minivan. And I feel terrible and I shake and I get upset and it's not, and then my nerves still shout for the next couple days, but you just gotta keep going. And then I try to learn from my failures and the failures of others and try to always see how we can do better next time. I guess that's the silver lining, is that when we do have a loss of control that ends up in failure, we have maybe some building blocks to have it not happen again.
Yeah. Stephen, how about for you? So you were talking more about self-control. And I mean, I think we can say, Meg, or anyone else who doesn't know this, me and Stephen just decided that, what was it, 2 weeks ago? We started doing
something like that.
How's Weight Watchers going? How's it going?
And it's been good, but it's also been difficult. And so, Stephen, I know I'm kind of asking you a question I already know the answer to, but I wanted to just get your thoughts from a standpoint of self-control and what happens when it works, but also what happens when you feel like you're failing at it.
I'm a person who also likes to be in control. Shocking. I don't let anyone else drive cars. Chris can attest to that. I don't ride with people. I have to drive because I'm in control of my fate. That's why flying is so hard for me. And I just, on our trip to Seattle for PodCon, I just finally reached a point where I was like, okay, I think I'm good flying.
Yeah, it's a big step.
Yeah, because for me, it wasn't a matter of oh God, we're in the air. What if I wasn't in control? And so I was having to put my trust in a person I didn't know, who was flying this plane. So I mean, I could do it better, duh. But yeah, I don't know. For me, I'm learning to let go of control of things that I don't need to control, and I'm learning to have to control the things that I've let slide for so long. And so part of that for me is, most of that for me is my health. I have worked myself to the bone for 2 years, doing the show, working. I'm not there right now, but as we've talked about before, on the show, I was up to 5 jobs outside of this show, which the show I dedicate 30, 40 hours to a week. I mean, that's what landed me in the ER for stress. It was I work myself and work myself and work myself and work myself and don't care about my health. I eat whatever I want. When I get stressed out, I binge eat. That's something I've always done my entire life. Meg, I resonate with that when you said that, because that's been my life. I was always a big kid. Always a big kid. And it was funny, but also heartbreaking when we did that panel in Seattle and you were moderating and you mentioned somebody kind of the idea of where does the comedy come from, and you had said self-defense. It was a defense mechanism for when you were a larger kid, and then it went to Justin and he said that same thing. And then it went to Allegra and she said that same thing. And then it got to me and I was like, yeah, that same thing. It was.
And I was thinking the same thing while I was sitting there.
It's, for me, I've done that for so long. I'm trying to learn how to take control again of my situation. And so not only control in that sense, but then that leads into self-control. And for me, I mean, it's tough, man. Some days I last night I texted Chris doing this diet thing. I was like, I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel. Because I had a bad day, and I had a really bad day, emotionally and mentally, and my depression was bad. Turns out I missed my meds again. Whoops. And the only thing I knew how to do to make myself feel better was to eat a massive lunch and then order a pizza at 9:00 at night and eat the entire thing.
Did you track it?
I did track it.
There you go. That's doing it.
made me feel terrible, but at the same time,
It's
I was
okay,
like,
you tracked it. That's the
all you have
hardest
to do
freaking
is
part.
track it. That's all you have
Yeah.
to do. That's the whole method behind the Weight Watchers thing.
Mm-hmm.
All
Man,
you
it
have to do is
sucked,
track
though.
it.
Yeah, it sucked hard. So self-control is hard for me because
It's funny. I wanted to specifically speak to this because that's what I was thinking about last night. And so you're in a moment where you're feeling weak, Stephen, and so you text me and say, and like you're telling me like you just don't know if you can do this. And so at first I'm trying to support, I'm trying to push through, but then I also hit a point where I'm literally telling myself, am I controlling him by forcing him to do this? And so like I'm in my head simultaneously about that. And
then you're texting me like, hey, don't do it if you don't want to do it. And then I'm like, no, you can't let me give up that easy. Like,
I know, but it's like I'm so used to like I think the thing that I'm trying to find the balance of specifically on this, and tell me if you'll resonate with this. I love controlling things like projects or things that I'm a part of, but maybe aren't specifically like about me, but me adjacent, because these are things that I feel like I can handle. But for the longest time, and why I've been trying to make such a different switch for this year, and why I've done stuff like Weight Watchers, and I'm trying to do therapy and other type of stuff again and get back into that habit, is I feel the thing I'm most intimidated to try and control are the actual things I can, like the specific parts of my life, because the problem is if I fail at those, then I feel like I have no excuse. You know, like I feel like this is the one thing I could have, and I messed it up. And I think like that's the thing that I run away from. And I think that's what you were getting at, Stephen, yesterday, of just like, I don't know if I have this within me, you know, just this type of idea. And it's interesting why I feel like I mean, you were joking about you feel you could fly the plane better, but there are so many things in this life that I feel like I could probably do that better, that I have no credentials for, or I feel like I'm definitely not the best suited for that, but I still feel more comfortable with that than I do about taking like the reins on something that I really could truly take control over. Right. And I think for me, it really comes out of that fear. I'm curious if either of you, if you resonate with that.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
I kind of separate it for me, because it's like for me, a lot of the like self-control with my body is like it's emotional, definitely, but it's also chemical. So like I have this, you know, the binge eating thing is a thing that like it, you know, it's changing the chemistry in my brain. It makes me feel different. It makes me feel nothing, which is what I'm looking to feel. But then as soon as you come out of the trance of that, then you have all the guilt and the shame and all the emotional baggage that comes along with it. So there is that, like the fighting against the chemical issue with self-control is for me way harder than fighting against the, like, you know, the general control. It's like I could sit up all night and I can run budgets and spreadsheets, and I can be on the phone with FedEx until they are like, please stop calling us, miss. You know, I can drive to the Cedar Rapids airport and pick up, like, I can do those things that are like not good for me, but are deeply controlling. But I'm not having a chemical response to that. Whereas like, where it's like, if I can make myself exercise, then I feel good. That can, you know, or I get the good feel good hormones and chemicals from that. So yeah, it kind of is separating those things where it's like there's stuff that I know that I can control, but chemically it's fighting against me. And then there's stuff I know I can't control, but the intellectualizing it, like I can intellectualize myself and think that I can control it.
Sure.
Like driving a car, you know, like I'm in control. I'm controlled. There's nothing that I can control that is going to stop that tractor trailer from running that red light. Like it feels like I'm in control because I'm doing all the things that I know I can do behind the wheel of like paying attention and driving safely and wearing my seatbelt. But like, it's a false sense of control, because really, like, it's the whole big thing of control. It's like we want to have control in our lives because we don't have control of when we die. Like we don't have control of when people around us die, and so that's really difficult.
And there's your terrifying thought for the day, everyone. No, but no, that's absolutely true. God, I feel like this is just yet another week, just like last week and many weeks before, where I'm going to walk away from this conversation like, yeah, And then I'm going to be like laying in bed tonight and be like, you know what? Meg is so right. Like, I'm just, and then I'll probably end up emailing you like, guess what? You were right. Because I learned
That's all
so
I need
much.
to hear as a person who needs to be in control is that I was right and that it's not my fault and I was right about everything.
And I'm a person who needs verbal affirmation. So,
Steven, you're doing great. I'm proud of you.
thanks. Well, again, that's why you made me cry inside, as I said in the thing at the beginning, because I was like, you are not going to cry in front of like 1,500 people. But Meg was just like, everybody clap for Steven. I was like, don't do that. Don't clap for Steven. So, yeah, well, this has been like I feel all warm and fuzzy again because I'm like, yeah, I'm walking away from this with like things that I feel like I'm going to use and grow with. So thank y'all for chatting about that. That's we done good.
We done good.
We done good.
Yeah, the food obsessed person in me wants to just encourage you on your Weight Watchers journey. I've been on and off Weight Watchers since I was probably like 8 or 9. So, so enjoy.
So you know it well.
I actually
happened-
just recently quit because I'm
Really?
trying to do it myself now, which
Yeah.
is something that I don't know if I'll be able to how that's gonna go. But I want to be a person who can do it themselves, and maybe I can't be. I don't know. But yeah, also the thing that they every like couple years on Weight Watchers they change the program, so like different things are different. And I was doing really well on one program, then they did a big change where like there was stuff that you could have as 0 points that you couldn't have as 0 points before. And I'm terrible at portion control and self control, so it's like, oh, I can have as many black beans as I want. Like you don't know how many black beans I can eat. Like you don't know. I can have as
That's a
many
dangerous
hard boiled
thing,
eggs.
too.
Yeah.
Wait, I can just like chug this entire jar of applesauce? Yes, please. Yeah, no, it's tough, but I bet you can do it. Absolutely, bet you can do it.
I bet you can do it too. I think that keep going, keep tracking. I'll keep
Jury's
I'll-
out.
Hey, be positive.
I know, I am.
I know. It's unfortunately you're stuck with you for the rest of your life, you know? So it's a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, I gotta. Sometimes I'm the worst, but you know what? Sometimes I'm the best.
There we go.
I said it. All right. Well, on that very happy note, we are going to take a quick break, but we will be right back with more Is This Adulting? Hey, everybody. It's me, Steven. I'm your best friend and your resident capybara expert. That's me. Just breaking in to let you know a couple things. First off, this episode is brought to you in part by our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much to everyone who gives over on Patreon. If you would like to join that giving family, as well as get some awesome content in the process, we do weekly after shows with each of our guests, as well as at least 2 a month shows that are just me and Chris talking about interesting things. Maybe I read some fan fiction. Maybe we talk about Weight Watchers. Who knows? You can get those at one of our tiers as well. Monthly meetups, things like that. It's really cool. And by monthly meetups, I mean quarterly virtual meetups. See, it sounds like it was really cool, and then I sounded like I took it away, and I'm sorry. It all just, y'all, I'm tired. That pregnancy brain is clearly spreading to me now. So yeah, it's patreon.com/isthisadulting. It's a fun place. You should check it out. Also, I want to let everybody know, as far as our merch store goes, we still have the Loru shirt available for the rest of the month of February. It is going fast, so if you want it, definitely check it out. That's over at TeePublic. But if you just go over to our website, it is isthisadultingpod.com, click on the merch tab, and it should take you right to our store. And at the end of February, y'all, it's going in the vault, and it will not be available again. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Last but not least, I am here to give you your weekly recommendation. So I'm just going to jump on this bandwagon, I guess, because, you know, I'm a bandwagon podcast listener. What can I say? Y'all, this week I've been listening to a whole lot, just a whole lot of Mobituaries, which is a show done by Mo Rocca. Where he talks about, you know, the lives and the interesting stories behind some people who have passed, and people you may not know their names. Some people you do. He just did an episode on Sammy Davis Jr. Obviously, everybody knows Sammy Davis Jr. But he also did an episode on people that have been forgotten who were forerunners in civil rights and in gender equality. And it was really cool. So Mobituaries, it's a really fun, like interesting and entertaining show. You can get it wherever you get your podcast and wherever fine podcasts are sold. All right, back to our episode with Meg Bashwiner. Y'all, she's just the best. She's just the nicest. If anybody had to welcome you to Night Vale, you want it to be Meg because she's so wonderful. So yeah, let's get back to it. It's game time. Oh, this has been a fun time full of state politics. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Is This Adulting? We've just been talking politics over here, just having a good time, but we're not doing that on the show because that's a no-no. It's a no-no. Anyway, it's Chris's favorite time. It's game time.
Is.
Woo!
Christopher Gremmett, what game have you prepared? Also, I need you to know I just found a sticky note that made me laugh. That's why I stopped talking. Because all that's written on it must be where I took the titles for other episodes, and all that's written on it is the words, "That ain't lunch," from Caldwell's episode. So
wow, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted. Anyway, we're back, and it's game time. Chris, what are we playing before I derail us even worse?
All right. Well, I wanted to find something that was inspiring, being inspired specifically by you, Meg. And so I was thinking about Welcome to Night Vale, and I was thinking about the many books and many things that you'll kind of participate
Thanks for ripping
in.
that scab open, you asshole.
I apologize. And so because of that, there are millions of books in this world. Some of them are classic, and others are
Classic.
classically should be sitting on a shelf and never anything else. So I'm going to take us through some different categories of books, and you have to choose which book really exists and which one I made up with a book or a game that I call Shelf Awareness. I told you, I'm a dad.
Yeah, you are.
All right, so here we go. We're going to go through some different sections. I'm just going to have you buzz in if you feel that you know the correct answer. What I'll do is I will read what section of the bookstore we're going into. I will give you a title and a very, very quick description of both of them. And then once both of them have been done, you can chime in whenever you'd like, okay?
Yes.
Got it.
Here we go. So we're going to start with a section that many people don't know about that is very popular in the bookstore, and that's animal poetry.
Sure.
With two of these very powerful pieces of work. Which one is true and which one is false? Is it I Could Pee on This? Poems for cat lovers about cats and what they like peeing on. Or Old MacDonald's, poems for vegans from the perspective of the once animals, now fast food items. God.
Buzz.
Steven, which one is true? Or which one is real?
I know what my brain tells me, but I know which one I want to be true. And so I'm going to say it's Old MacDonald's.
Old MacDonald's. I'm so sorry, it is not true.
Oh.
I was very proud of that one.
I figured it wasn't, but I also was like, I need this to be. Is it I Could Pee on This book?
I've seen that book in the store.
So can I just read to you really really quickly from the perspective of a cat, this amazing poem. Are you ready?
Yes, please.
Here we go. I wish I had like the beatnik clothes on and I just had like a spotlight and everything. So yeah, here we go. Her new sweater doesn't smell of me. I could pee on that. She's gone out for the day and left her laptop on the counter. I could pee on that. Her new boyfriend just pushed my head away. I could pee on him. She's ignoring me, ignoring her. I could pee everywhere. She's making up for it by putting me on her lap. I could pee on this. I could pee on this. And that's it. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Good luck to all authors out there. Good luck to all poets. And so my only comment. Just good luck to you.
Yeah. How in the world can you pass that up? It's just too good. So I could pee on this. That is the name of this book of poetry. But who knows? Maybe Old MacDonald's will now be inspirational.
God, I hope
for many people. Okay. And by the way, if anyone wants to look at these books, I'm going to provide images and links because I'm going to share you some of the covers very soon. You can do that on our blog. It's in our show notes, which will be in our description. So we're going with the next one. We're going to a more common section now of the bookstore, and that is religion and spirituality.
Uh-oh.
So here we go. Is it?
Did Jesus shit? Or is it?
No. Luckily, that was, but that might be a book. I don't know, but it wasn't at least the books that I've chosen from. Which one is real? Is it Wiccan Pickin', a book of guitar chord sheets for popular Wiccan songs?
Oh, God.
Or Dancing with Jesus, a book of Jesus-themed dance moves?
I'm going to buzz in. I think
All right,
that
Meg.
I think that Wiccan Pickin' is the fake one.
You're correct. Dancing with Jesus is the real one. And I have to show you this, y'all, because this image is incredible. And I really encourage other people to do the same. The only way I can describe this is it's Jesus doing the Carlton.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
And it says, featuring a host of miraculous moves. And my favorite part of all is in the description on Amazon. It says, as the Bible says in Ecclesiastes, there is a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. So yeah, that it's just too good. So I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I just what?
I know. I just love the Carlton. Is the first move that they went with for that. Okay.
Hold on.
All right, so
I need you to know real quick. I
Okay.
Googled, just out of curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
did Jesus shit? And I got a very interesting answer.
Okay.
Would you like to hear it?
Please.
I feel like we don't have a choice. I feel like we have to know.
This is from Jody Gaddy, a student and teacher of the Bible for 39 years, who responded, "Of course he shit." Well, no, the question was, did he poop? Because there was no shit. But
Okay.
of course he did. He became as we were in the incarnation, even as a helpless baby. It goes on and on and on and on, to which my favorite part is, but my question is, what about in heaven? What about when we have our glorified bodies? Will we eat? Will we poop? How will the new bodies work?
This is deep.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Wow.
It's no heaven to
Wow.
me if there's no food or pooping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, a good poop is always good. I mean,
And the jokes.
she seems to think that we're going to eat because in Revelation it mentions fruit on the trees and the marriage of the banquet of the Lamb or something scary. So,
Wow.
yeah, just I hope you know that Jesus did indeed poop. Apparently,
Yeah.
that's what the internet. Oh, related
I so badly
questions.
want to make my cup overflow with joke, but I feel like
yeah.
there's no way to do that and not be disgusting. So let's keep going.
Yeah, got it. Cool. I'm gonna
All right,
keep
we-
reading
we-
related questions.
We are tied, and so we are going down to the very last one. Are you ready for this? I call this section Surprise Inside. Let me explain
Oh,
that. Is it books that are very different than expected from the cover? So pretty much I'm going to describe the cover and provide the name, and then you're also going to get an extra point if you figure out what's inside. So this is kind of like extra points. This is for the win. So here are the two books you can choose from.
Sure.
Is the real one, but you're a horse. Straight from the pharmacy book collection of a sexy romantic novel, a woman and a horse are in a forbidden embrace. Or is it If You Eat a Salad, a horror-inspired scene of a hand with a fork reaching into a piece of lettuce that appears to have blood oozing out?
Buzzing in.
Which one? Which one is real? If You Eat a Salad or But You're a Horse?
I'm going to go with If You Eat a Salad.
The answer, unfortunately, is not.
Oh, no.
But You're a Horse is an actual... but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the chance.
Well, I need you to know it's not a tie because I got the first one wrong.
Oh, you're right. Oops. You're right. Well, so here's the thing. Either way, but I still want to see if you can get an extra point by chance by guessing, Meg. Any idea? Yeah, don't worry. I'm going to show you the picture. Any idea what But You're a Horse might be about. And you know what? I think it's only fair. I'm going to give, because of all of the covers, this is without a doubt the best one. And this is one that I very much encourage anyone and everyone who loves romantic novels to just take a look at this, Meg, because this thing is it's there's such a mystery that I just want to know so much about. Yeah?
Can I read you the description of the book?
But wait, she has to guess what's inside.
Oh, I messed that up. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you did mess it up. So you can't even get the extra point now. So
damn it. Son of a
Any
bitch.
guesses? Any guesses, Meg?
Okay, so it is a staggering allegory about using LSD on a farm.
That is a beautiful, beautiful guess. And honestly, makes significantly more sense than what actually this is. It is a collection of pranks, anecdotes, and gags that have nothing whatsoever to do with the book or the cover. I have no idea. But it's like some very famous like comedian who was written on like BuzzFeed and Huffington Post and a bunch of other stuff. And so, but it is a powerful, powerful thing. So, Stephen, are you going to describe something to us?
No, that was all I was going to say, but I do want to let you know. On March 20th, 2015, a Kindle customer reviewed the book as such. My dog is barking. Please ignore that. A Kindle customer reviewed the book as such. I'm very disappointed. I was waiting for a romance novel between a horse and a human.
Were we all?
So sorry, person
Weren't
out
we
there
all?
who really wanted that. I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum. Like, if that's what you're into, that's what you into. But
There's still time. Someone can just go and write it.
I'll write it.
Yeah.
And I will call it 50 Shades of Nay. Anyway, or
That's a good one.
Hay. I should have gone with Hay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like 50 Shades of Hay would have been better. Anyway, well, Meg, you won the game.
You did. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You feel very honored, don't you,
I
by the
do.
shelf awareness game?
I do.
It's the highest
You'll
honor.
you'll get a copy of all of these books now. We'll send them directly to you. So enjoy your reading while you're on the road.
Yeah, use the media mail. It'll never get to me.
Why would you all keep bringing it up? Anyway, if you have a mental health check-in you'd like to send over to us, oh my God, guys, my brain shut off while I was
you do
reading
it?
the outro of the show and I broke because
okay?
I'm so emotionally distraught over all of this book talk that y'all keep bringing up. You're terrible.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, that's going to wrap up the show a little bit. So if you have a mental health check-in you'd like to share or an idea of how we can encourage you throughout the week, you can send that to us over at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. Follow us over on Twitter at isthisunderscoreadulting. Find us on Facebook at the Is This Adulting Best Friends. For our $5 a month patrons, we're going to continue chatting over on our after show. Today we'll be talking about the most embarrassing habits that we had as kids. For our $10 a month patrons, we got some great episodes coming up. Chris, what are those going to be about?
We're going to do a couple. We're going to, one, give a big update on pretty much our first 2 weeks of Weight Watchers and describing all of the good and the bad that we've had. And then we're also going to do a special sometime soon where Stephen is going to ask me a bunch of questions about float therapy. And I want to share all of the weird things that happened, my entire experience there.
And Chris is going to try to talk me into doing float therapy with
Yes,
him. He
yes.
offered a couples float, but you are naked while you do it, so I'm not sure how I feel about it.
No, I joked. It's not even that way. That's what I was sad about. Like, no, it's just literally two pods beside each other where you go.
Damn.
It's like, so they're not even in the same. I don't know. It's weird.
Anyway, I don't want anything to do with that, but I'll tell you what I do want something to do with. The Collection. They're an amazing band, and we'd like to thank the Collection for the use of our theme music, The Borrowers, off their album, Ars Moriendi. Meg, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank y'all so much for having me.
Of course, you're a lovely human being. Do you want to remind everyone where they can find you on the interwebs?
Just Google my name. You'll find me. I'm the only one with this name.
Are you?
I am. There's a Megan Bashwiner who married into the name. So,
Ugh,
but if
she's the worst.
you're going to
Yeah,
find me.
we know how we feel about that.
She's probably okay. I've never met her, but you know.
Oh,
And,
sorry, Megan.
Yeah,
She took-
follow...
She took
Follow
the
Meg's
last
mom.
name. She took the last name, which is interesting. I'm like, why would you take a last name that's so terrible? I mean, I don't know.
It's not a it's unique and cool.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not mad about my name. But yeah, it's just interesting. That's like you know, you have rights now as a woman. You get to kind of pick what your name's going to be. She picked that one anyway.
This took a turn,
It
y'all.
took a turn. You know, the patriarchy's everywhere. It's just I know we're not getting political, but the patriarchy's everywhere.
It is
I'm at
everywhere. Fuck the
megbash.com.
patriarchy.
We did have male privilege joke earlier, so
Yeah. Just getting
Thanks so
hard.
much for having me. You can find me on the internet where all good internets exist. Behind the
Yes,
7-Eleven.
and please do us all a favor. Do yourself a favor, really, and follow Meg's mom on Twitter.
She gets banned a lot for tweeting things at the current president.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for my feed.
oh, I'm excited. So
Yeah.
many fun things are going to be.
We'll have to
happen.
follow. She's been followed from our official podcast feed, but I'll have to do it from my personal too now.
Yeah.
Well, that is going to do it for us here on Is This Adulting this week. I've been your best friend, Steven.
I have been your best friend, Chris.
And I'm your new BFF, Meg.
And remember, kids, be happy, stay healthy, and with consent, go hug someone.
Because you never know. They may be dancing with Jesus. Wait, that sounded way worse than expected. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Never mind. We don't need to do that. That sounded different.
Dancing with the Savior? I don't know. Anyway.
Dancing with Jesus sounds like they've gone somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
So
It sounds
sorry.
like a
Not
sad song
that.
by some contemporary Christian artist. Anyway,
Oops.
y'all have a good week.
My bad. Bye.